here an electric candlelight candelabra, which says it was manufactured by the Royal Electric Company from Manville, Rhode Island. And the problem I have with it is that this one stick, the bulb doesn't turn on. And I did some digging based on what was written, and I found a very similar plastic candlelight from the 50s that helped me figure out the anatomy of this light. And so the issue is that the bulb in this little socket that you see in figure 4, there's like a little disc that fell down underneath the collar, and so when I screw the bulb in, it's not actually making contact. This light has 5 candlesticks, and in each of these sticks are 2 wires that go up through the tube. One is wired to the base that touches the bottom of the bulb, and one is wired to the collar, which is making contact with the screw terminal of the bulb. And those 2 wires connect to the main plug. And so what I'm doing here is I need to use a flathead screwdriver to push the disc that had fallen down gently past the collar and try to get it out the bottom. So with some finagling, I can, thread it down through and pull that piece out. Now, the next thing I need to do is figure out a way to thread it back up through the whole plastic tube. And to do that, I had to get some scrap wire, and I bent it into a U shape to hook on to the disc and then thread it up through the tube. And so when I did this, I didn't expect everything to come up through the top, like the collar that you see there. But it did. And if you look into the other candlesticks, you can see that's the part that goes around the base of the bulb that the bulb screws into, and then the very base, that's what the other wire attaches to, so that the current can flow through the bulb. And so just looking at how those ones are seated, that little disc that I pulled through, this little disc is what I need to push back up through. This disc needs to insulate the base from the collar, and it turns out that this isn't wood, which I thought it was, but it's called phenolic material, which is a hard, dense material made by applying heat and pressure to layers of paper or glass cloth that has been laminated with synthetic resin. So that's something I found by looking at that patent sheet. And so here are the 2 pieces, and the collar has this little slit in it, which makes it really easy to just reinsert the disc. And then once they're together, just by pinching it together to keep the disc from falling through the bottom again. That's it. You can see a close up here. I'm just going to pull gently on those wires to seat that back to where it should be. And then make sure that the base can lay flat. And it should work. So when I screwed the bulb in, obviously while I was working on that and putting my finger in it, it was not plugged in. going to plug it in and we'll see if it works. And it does. And the last thing I'm going to do is use some glue to reattach the cardboard base.